darkest moments, miracles can happen.
I heard her scream, "Mom," and that was the best thing I've ever heard.
Turning a tornado's capacity to destroy into a force that transforms lives.
You can always build back, but you can't replace lives.
These are the stories of ordinary people who beat extraordinary odds on I Survived a Tornado. Brewing in the skies of southern Indiana are not just one, but two massive tornado-inducing supercells.
On March 2nd, 2012, a powerful EF4 tornado ripped through Henryville, Indiana. Just about anything in the path sustained unthinkable damage.
As if Mother Nature wasn't punishing enough, a second tornado hits just minutes later.
To have that happen that quickly, this was almost eerie. I don't think I've ever seen that before, ever.
For the Decker family, the storm will change their lives in an unimaginable way. Joe and Stephanie Decker have been raising their two children in Henryville for the past 3 years.
It's a very small community. It has one four-way stop, so very country feel is what Henryville is.
March 2nd starts like any other day at the Decker home.
Kids off to school, off to work. I was a sleep technician. I worked in sleep medicine. Joe is a teacher at the local high school.
Around noon, Joe notices a change in the weather.
I started looking at radar while I was at school and seeing that there were tornadoes popping up.
The tornadoes are heading straight for their area. Joe's school immediately goes on lockdown.
Our school buildings are 50 years old. It's not the greatest place to be in a tornado.
He calls Stephanie to see if she can leave work early.
I told Steph, I'm like, hey, if you can, get out and just take the kids home. There's no reason for you guys to be here when you're going to be much safer at the house than you would be at our school.
Stephanie picks up their two children, Dominic and Reese. Once home, Stephanie texts Joe to let him know they've arrived safely.
I was relieved that they were going to be at the house. Then I pulled up a live news feed from one of the news stations.
All of Clark County, please take cover because this storm is a monster.
I told her, I'm like, get in the back of the basement.
Trying to remain calm, Stephanie takes Dominic and Reese downstairs.
I grabbed a blanket and I got them down on their knees, and it was just as I was getting on my knees, I saw the foundation pull away from the house. I knew we're in trouble.
The tornado hits with the power of a freight train. The steel support beam breaks free and plummets towards Stephanie.
It was either hold on to my kids or get out of the way. Sounds like a paper cutter. It just sliced my leg. I knew instantly that my legs were crushed.
As suddenly as it was there, the tornado was gone.
In a matter of 15 seconds, our house was completely demolished.
It's not over yet. The storm delivers another shattering blow. Hail the size of baseballs begins thundering down.
It was huge. You just can't imagine that kind of stuff falling from the sky. It was crazy. And I was purple the entire length of my back.
The hail subsides. Incredibly, the children are okay. But Stephanie is in bad shape. Her legs crushed under 2,000 pounds of steel.
I had to have Dominic be my eyes and ears. So Dominic stood on top of the debris and looked out.
He turns in sheer terror.
He said, there's another tornado coming.
Exposed and helpless to seek shelter, Stephanie is out of options.
I'm thinking, how are we going to survive this second? There's no way you can survive something like this. And it's sickening in your stomach to think that your kids are going to die.
Back at the high school, Joe tries to reach his wife.
I'm like, are you guys okay? Nothing.
When another text goes unanswered, Joe begins to worry.
It was just that feeling, I just need to get there and see what's going on, just to make sure they're okay.
He has no idea that his wife and children are in the direct path of a second tornado, with nothing but a blanket for protection.
I'm using all my upper body to protect them.
The 3-pound Stephanie, she doesn't know how much more she can take.
I looked up once and got a gash across my head. All of it's so vivid. The realization that this is it. My life is over.
Mother Nature finally relents, and the tornado ends. Miraculously, the children have no marks on them at all.
That blanket saved those kids' lives.
Stephanie knows her time is running out. She tells Dominic he needs to find help. Afraid, he refuses to go.
I didn't want to leave my mom. She had a big gash right on her head, and I knew that was probably the least that happened to her.
One of the hardest decisions as a mother to make, because I didn't know what I was sending him out into. But I didn't to let them see their mother die.
As Dominic disappears into the rubble, Reese holds on to her mother.
It was really hard for me to see her like that. Her body was buried up in the wood, and her face looked like she was going to pass out.
Moments later, Dominic returns with their neighbor, Christina. At the sight of Stephanie's injuries, Christina goes into shock.
And I'm like, focus up. I have a very limited amount of time because I knew how much blood I'd lost.
She asks Christina to take her children to a safe place and to find Brian Lovins, an off-duty police officer who lives nearby.
She left, took my kids, and probably one of the biggest struggles is trying to survive alone.
As each minute passes, Stephanie loses hope that she'll make it out alive. She pulls out her phone and records a video for her family.
It was just a short message to each one of them about how much I loved them, what I saw for their futures, all things that I just wanted them to know in case I did not make it. At least they had a last message from their mother.
Stephanie can feel her body starting to shut down.
I was so close, just wanting to close my eyes. Cannot believe I'm going to die right here. 37 years old, this can't be it for me.
Coming up, a difficult rescue goes from bad to worse.
Put her back down. We got some major problems here.
This program brought to you by the U.S. Army. This team makes a real difference. Find out if you'd make the cut at goarmy.com/team.
When it's your job to protect